Merry meet and welcome. Welcome to the realms of mysticism, the occult, and magic, where your possibilities are only limited by your imagination. Welcome to the Witch's Cauldron and discover the knowledge you seek. Gather round the cauldron and even stay for a spell. Brightest blessings to you. Merry meet and welcome to the Witch's Cauldron. My name's Paula. Today's video is on the lunar eclipse that will be occurring on November 19th, 2021 in the sign of Taurus. Now, we are back into eclipse season. This season runs through, I believe, like the first part, like March 2023, if I remember correctly. Don't hold me to that though, because I'm old and I don't remember stuff like I used to. Anyhow, both the sun and the moon have moved into Scorpio. Okay, so Scorpio is the most intense of the three water signs. So from now until the spring of 2022, March, April 2022, we will likely be witness to a lot of really fast moving changes, but it's going to be starting with this lunar eclipse. This kicks that energy off. In my previous video on the new moon, I went over some of the correspondences of the astrology going through to the middle of the month. And by the 14th, the moon will be in Aries. That is the day that I am actually recording this video. And on the 16th, the moon will be conjunct to Eris and squaring Pluto. And that's going to highlight all of that street fighter, standing up for those who are unheard, the pushback, everything about freedom versus control. It's highlighting that energy again, and it's amping it up the closer that it gets to the eclipse. At the new moon, Mars was squaring Saturn more tightly, and this was like the check between controls and regulations and versus your freedoms. And now the 17th, Mars is exactly opposite Uranus at 12 degrees Scorpio and Taurus. And this combination is really combustible because of that Scorpio energy. That energy where it was once kind of contained, it's now explosive. Frustration, anger, outbursts, they're going to be probably more common on a, human relationship level. But it's also going to be earthquakes of all kinds. So I would not be surprised if there is another like major earthquake or another volcano erupting. But it's going to, that energy builds and it can spill out to, a few days either way. Scorpio is one of the signs of secrets, as well as Pluto. Pluto is, bringing those secrets out, revealing the mysticism and everything like that. And what's kind of important to remember is to try and be as level-headed and objective as you can be regarding these secrets coming out. It may be one of those things where you are going to want to absolutely lose your stuff it'll be a really good time to remember to stay grounded and centered, to listen to some like chill Zen music, meditate, anything, deep breathing, anything that brings your anger level and brings your emotions more into check. The lunar eclipse will occur at 27 degrees 14 minutes of Taurus. And again, there's that 27 degrees again. And it will occur on November the 19th at 12:57 a.m. Pacific, which would then be 3:57 a.m. Eastern and 8:57 a.m. UK on the 20th of November 2002. This was the last time we had a lunar eclipse at this identical degree of 27 degrees Taurus. So if you were around then, look back on your life and figure out what was going on at that time, because those same themes can play out again during this lunar eclipse. The eclipse will be bringing around issues that involve Taurus and Scorpio to a head. I mean, they are just going to be like this. Taurus is connected more to finance and things of that nature. Scorpio, you remember, is the most sexual of the zodiac signs. And eclipses bring out the truth and shine the light on things that were hidden. So don't be surprised if not only in your own life, if things about hidden money or hidden sexual liaisons come out in your own relationships, but also come out on a global stage, okay? There are going to be, and it's not just, the United States. This is worldwide. I have a feeling there are going to be even more financial and economic issues in general coming to the forefront. And I also believe that there will be more extreme weather during this period of time, during this eclipse. This eclipse may also bring around issues relating to your root chakra. Now, root chakra is associated with the fight or flight, okay? Safety and security. So eclipses are also like portals between realms, okay? And the realms, the higher realms become thinner. So we are more able to access information. Do not be surprised if you, as a magical practitioner, or anyone who works with energy, or anyone who has psychic abilities, if your dreams don't bring like premonitions, if you don't have premonitions, your visions will probably be very, very vivid and almost feel like you're being bombarded with messages from other realms. Eclipses also put the highlight on endings. So that full moon energy of the eclipse is a great time to release what does not serve you, to shed old relationships. If they're not working anymore, it's time to let them go. It's time to quit giving CPR to, the corpse that's been dead for 3 years, okay? It's time to quit putting your energy into things that do not work for you. You also have to remember that the Sun, Mercury, and Mars is in Scorpio. So Scorpio is a lot about repressed emotions. And things that you have choked down years and years and years ago may come out. You know, you may just go blah. All right. But it would be, but you would be better served to release that anger from things that happened a long time ago or that happened in the past and just let them go, because it doesn't serve anything to you, because it's just going to eat you up on the inside. So bring light to anything that you want to let go. We have to have the courage to step into a new way of thinking, a new way of being, a new way of life, for us to leave the unhappiness and any kind of doubt and fear we have behind. This is when you really have to, I hate to say this because the word is so overused, embrace your ascension, okay? To embrace peace and love and compassion and gratitude and respect for others' opinions. You all don't have to think the same way. We don't have to agree about everything, but we don't need to stay in a constant state of argument and finger pointing and BS either. It serves no one and makes absolutely no progress to tackling a problem if all you can do is sit there and have both sides point fingers at one another. And that's on a personal and a global level that I'm talking about. We are being called to have our personal frequencies raised, okay, to ascend to the next level up, for the benefit of humanity, and not only the benefit of humanity, but for your own self. And as we go into 2022, and probably for about the next decade, you are going to be called to raise that vibrational level and be called to stay in a more positive state of mind so that you can leave all the shackles of the past behind you. During the eclipse, the moon will be trine to Pluto at 24 degrees, 46 minutes of Capricorn. And that will help you stand in your power. You are likely to be just emotions all over the place, up and down. You can go from laughing 1 minute to sobbing the next. And it's a tense, extreme feelings on both ends of the spectrum. Like I said, from here to here, and nothing flat. Also remember that in astrology, the moon represents the people, okay? And many of us may be feeling very intense about our finances, our safety, and our security, which are all linked to Taurus, okay? We have to come together and take care of one another. The moon will also be square Jupiter at 24 degrees of Aquarius, and this will intensify our feelings even more with respect to freedom and human rights, which are both connected to Aquarian energy. It may help you to find people and networks, groups of like-minded people, so that you can kind of find your network to express yourself. Because a lot of people feel like they are not heard. But it can also be that first step, you reaching out and making those connections, enabling us to start those communities for us to heal as humankind. Now, Venus is at 12 degrees, 17 minutes of Capricorn, trine to Uranus at 12 degrees, 11 minutes of Taurus. So it's only 6 minutes from exactitude. And these, again, are affiliated with shocks and surprises in the financial system. And particularly, and relating to the US Pluto Return, another video on that, I'll link it in the description box. There is a focus on the US's economy and how it may trickle out and affect the world economies and world markets. The nodes, the North Node and the South Node, also move into Taurus and Scorpio in January of next year. And they will be there for 18 months. And again, that's money, finance, values, and the economy. So there may be a lot more movement with regard to finances and things of that nature. Venus is also in a quincunx to Black Moon Lilith at 12 degrees 29 minutes of Gemini. And Gemini is a truth bringer. What's true, what's not? What has the government claimed is true versus the real truth possibly coming out? It's about that disinformation of information, for lack of a better word. This can also be very volatile. At the lunar eclipse, there are 3 planets in Scorpio, and Scorpio is the sign of secrets, particularly of those that are rich and powerful. And with Jupiter in Aquarius being truths coming out. For instance, not long ago, the Chancellor of Austria resigned his position because he was caught in corruption. And the Premier of New South Wales, Australia, her deputy and her transport minister all resigned under corruption. And more things may come to light with, like those examples, coming out because of this. Through all of this, as the lunar eclipse occurs, there may be certain countries that will be in the spotlight. China is one. Has its midheaven at 27 degrees 7 minutes of Scorpio. Israel has its midheaven at 29 degrees 30 minutes of Scorpio. And Spain has its midheaven at 25 degrees 44 minutes of Scorpio. And the midheaven in a country's chart represents the government and its leadership. The European Union has its moon, the people, representing the people, at 24 degrees 20 minutes of Taurus. President Biden has his sun, S-U-N, at 27 degrees 34 minutes of Scorpio, and in the 12th house, and that is linked to usually serious health issues. The 12th house is also often called the house of karma. So whatever is going on in President Biden's life and with his respect to his health might come to light, and or could have another step of development around the next lunar eclipse on the 16th of May in 2022, when it occurs at 25 degrees 18 minutes of Scorpio. Scorpio is about spiritual transformation, and that's what we're in the middle of right now. We are being called to ascend, to transform. We have a lot of planets that are residing in fixed signs right now. And that push-pull of the pull to be called to ascend, to raise your vibrational level, and then those fixed signs wanting you to draw back and maintain the status quo. So you can feel resistance overall to change of any kind, and you're going to want to cling on to things that are familiar to you, even if they're bad for you. That could be a job, a relationship, a home, whatever it may be. You have to trust that the light and the calling to a higher vibrational level and a higher frequency will lead you down the right path. You may not be able to see it, you may be afraid to embrace it, but you have to have faith that you are being called to where you need to be by raising your vibrational level. If you focus on everything that's going on around the world, this is a time when it's very easy to become depressed, to feel like you're helpless, to feel like you are completely powerless, and then to go and be in that victim mode. It's hard, very hard, to get out of where we are right now and get out of victim mode and go into creator, to manifesting, to, making the magic that will help you ascend. So I would focus an eclipse ritual on ascension to your higher self, on releasing things that no longer serve you, to manifest your new destiny, to do divination and shine the light in areas where you may not see what's coming down the road to you, things of that nature. Especially as magical practitioners, I cannot state to you how important it's going to be to maintain and be grounded and centered and try not to just go on that big roller coaster ride, to try and keep an even energy level and not succumb to those highs and lows and the push and the pull between Taurus and Scorpio during this period of time. So that is it for this video. If you liked it, be sure to give it a thumbs up and consider becoming a member of the Cauldron Coven. Membership link is down in the description box. And as I always say, my friends, merry we did meet, merry we will part until we merry meet again. Be well and walk in love and light, everybody. Bye.